Hello, my name is Mark Rogers, and I would like to thank you for the opportunity to participate in the video questions. The first question pertains to managing a volunteer firefighter program, and should the volunteer program be continued, expanded, or eliminated. I started my fire service career as a volunteer and believe that being a member of a volunteer fire department reflects on the type of individual volunteering and their commitment to the community. Most fire departments begin with conscientious volunteers who want to help keep their community safe. As the community grows and the needs change, it is important to constantly reevaluate the organization that serves the community to ensure that the standards of public safety are being met. I would encourage those who want to volunteer to continue as long as minimum standards and proficiency requirements are met. The needs of the community could eventually evolve into requiring the need for more full-time paid personnel. This process would require transparency and fairness. The makeup of the Windsor-Severance area is rural, light industrial, and residential. New business and/or population growth will potentially require an increase of additional stations and paid personnel. Moving this organization forward requires working together so there is no perception of preferential treatment between volunteer and paid personnel. Having short and long-term goals are necessary, whether combination or full-time paid. In the current economic cycle, budgets are tight, so strategic planning based upon the community's need and financial resources will dictate at what point the organization needs to establish more paid personnel. I would long respect the dedicated history of providing quality fire service to the citizens of the Windsor-Severance Fire Protection District and would help facilitate meeting the goals that have been established. The second question pertains to experience, skills, personal traits used to resolve personnel issues. I believe there are many traits and skills required when addressing personnel issues. Being a good listener is a necessary skill that a fire chief should possess. Being a good listener, I have an understanding of what the conflict is about and what steps will be necessary to resolve the conflict or problem. There has been instances in my career that just listening to someone and their problems or concerns has resolved the conflict or issue. Secondly, by having established expectations or goals prior to the conflict, there is a baseline of understanding that can be referred to. My experience is that generally individuals want to be empowered and given the opportunity to deal with the conflict quickly and effectively amongst themselves. I also believe that addressing issues head-on is the best way to deal with conflict resolution. Being able to confront conflict and problems is one of my better traits. Making tough choices or decisions may not be popular. However, I've earned the respect of my peers by addressing personality, conflict, as well as behavior that is not appropriate in the workplace. Accountability is also something that I believe will help resolve conflict and/or problems and could potentially alleviate additional conflict or problems from arising in the first place. Making individuals accountable can be very challenging in the fact that it is human nature to place blame or issues on others rather than taking responsibility for oneself. I frequently refer to the Johari window and work with others, myself included, to open our blind spots or things that we do not realize about ourselves. In order to resolve conflict or problems, it is important to know what our part of the conflict is. Being fair and transparent are also traits that I possess that not only help me with dealing with conflict or issues, but also in my day-to-day life. I have a reputation that my coworkers and subordinates know my position and my ability to positively handle conflict and problems. By treating everyone fairly and not having a hidden agenda is imperative when dealing with personnel and conflict resolution. As a supervisor, I'm required to attend a minimal amount of training every year that addresses personnel and conflict resolution. However, my most invaluable training has occurred while on the job. Having been in a command-level supervisory position for the last 15 years, I've had to deal with numerous and various types of conflict and personnel issues. Two of the most serious issues resulted in termination of the employee. The first issue was regarding an unstable employee that was using illegal drugs while on duty and exhibiting provocative behavior to coworkers. The second serious issue was abuse of sick time and then lying about the sick leave abuse. In conclusion, I feel that I have the proper personality to effectively deal with the hard choices of personnel issues and conflict resolution. I appreciate your time listening to my video interview.